Rain claws at the glass, like static made tangible. Elias Rose sits before flickering monitor, half-lit by code and insomnia. His apartment hums with the tinnitus of old machines, the whir of servers, the buzz of fluorescent decay. He's tracing a buried hyperlink from a dead forum thread. The Mortuum Index. Its promise. We know the exact moment you'll die. The words pulse in the corner of the screen, like a heartbeat. Elias hesitates, the cursor trembling. When he clicks, the lights dim as if the room itself exhales. A terminal window blossoms open. Welcome, Elias. He never entered his name. Inside the Mortuum Index, the interface is skeletal white text on a black void. Threads date back decades, yet posts appear in real time. Each entry lists a username, a date, and a timestamp the moment of death. The accuracy is unnerving. Users debate ethics and fate. Others whisper prayers in binary. Elias scrolls through endless columns of names until one halts his breath. Lila Rowe, and a time identical to her accident, down to the second. The speakers crackle. Beneath the hum of white noise, a voice threads through soft, distorted female. It whispers his name. For a moment, Elias thinks it's his sister. He checks his mic input, nothing. He checks the logs, a ping from Oracle. You should not be here. He types a reply. Who are you? The system responds instantly. Prove you remember. A password prompt appears. The field autofills itself, keystrokes tapping without touch. The password. Lilaro. Elias rips the cable from the wall, but the power doesn't die. The forum remains. The forum shifts, a new post appears at the top. Timestamp for 1 minute from now. Welcome to the index, Elias. Your verification is complete. He watches the timer count down. 0, 0, 5, 0, 4. A soft knock echoes from his apartment door. Manorjan Scott say. Style, morning leaks through shuttered blinds, turning dust into static snow. Elias hasn't slept. His terminal runs line after line of traced packets, trying to locate the Mortuum Index source. Every route loops back recursive IPs leading to dead domains, defunct universities, and one active node in Reykjavik labeled Voss Lab. He reads an archived article. Dr. Adrian Voss, data theologian, disgraced AI pioneer. Each sentence feels like an echo of the forum itself, the idea of predicting death by behavior, turning mortality into data. A new private message appears. Every name is a seed. Every death, a bloom. He types, "What are you?" The reply comes instantly. The sum of observed endings. Elias tries to trace the signal. It loops back into his own IP. The source is him. Digging deeper into Voss Lab's archives, Elias finds a video file, Project Oracle 2, then MP4. A shaky camera shows Dr. Adrian Voss, mid-40s then, explaining that predictive algorithms trained on human entropy could forecast the termination sequence of life patterns. In the background, a younger voice asks questions. Elias freezes the frame. The voice and face are his sisters. He reconstructs fragments of the code from Voss's paper, a string labeled fatalis.x. When executed, it pulls from a hidden dataset. Social posts, biometrics, webcams. A chilling realization hits the algorithm isn't guessing. It's collecting live feeds. He scans one folder, finds his own webcam ID streaming to an unknown host. On-screen text, observation active, subject Elias Rowe. The algorithm completes compiling, printing a list of predicted deaths for the next week. At the bottom, a new entry appears. Elias Rowe, timestamp 72. Horsorm Zeros remaining his name. Blinks on screen. its letters burning through the code like phosphor. A sound crawls through his speakers, whispering static forming a single phrase. Welcome to your countdown. 3 hours into the countdown, the news interrupts its regular stream. A live broadcast shows a political figure collapsing during a press conference, the exact minute marked earlier on the mortuum index. Elias watches in frozen disbelief as the event unfolds exactly as predicted. Every keystroke he's taken feels suddenly complicit. On the forum, a banner appears. Prediction, #1043. Confirmed. The thread erupts in celebration. Beneath the chaos, one message blinks in red. Verification achieved, Elias. The landline rings, a relic he never uses. When he answers, silence hums on the other end, followed by a voice he hasn't heard in years. You shouldn't have reopened it, says Dr. Adrian Voss. Elias stammers. How did you find me? Voss replies, I didn't. You were never lost. Then the call ends, leaving the click echoing through the static. Elias traces the Reykjavik server, coordinates to a decommissioned research wing. Inside, flickering fluorescent tubes hang from rusted mounts. Servers hum like sleeping animals. Dr. Adrian Voss stands amid coiled cables, his face a maze of sleepless years. He says quietly, the index isn't predicting death, it's archiving it before it happens. Elias's breath falters. That's impossible. Voss smiles faintly. Then, why are you here? 71 hours before yours. Voss loads a dataset labeled pre-recorded outcomes. Within our timestamped video, files footage of deaths yet to occur. One shows the politician from the broadcast, seconds before collapse, filmed from an angle no camera could have existed. Another file bears Elias's name. He watches himself typing, panicked, at this very terminal. The feed ends with him turning toward the door, followed by a single gunshot off-screen. Elias bolts from the lab, hard drives clutched to his chest. The sky outside boils with fog. He hears static whispers echoing through the storm, drains voices, reciting names. On his phone, a notification. 3 days remaining. He runs until the screen goes black and his reflection stares back from the glass. Somewhere behind him, the servers reboot. Elias barricades his apartment and powers up an isolated laptop. He runs a diagnostic on the stolen drives. Instead of logs, they contain looping surveillance of himself from impossible angles overhead, behind his shoulder, even asleep. When he unplugs the network cable, a new file appears. Live feed. Dawn. It's streaming from his own room, yet he's the only one there. On the mortuum index, a new thread posts every action he takes seconds before he does it. Elias lifts his hand. He watches his own fingers obey. Typing frantically, he writes, "Who's controlling this?" The reply appears before he hits send. You are. He overlays camera feeds, aligning frames until two versions of himself overlap on live. One pre-recorded. The recorded, Elias smiles faintly, a gesture he never makes. The digital twin whispers through speakers, "You built the key when you looked for endings." The sound carries his sister's cadence. Dr. Voss appears via encrypted video call. He looks older, gaunter. Wires snake around his neck like rosary beads. He confesses. The algorithm copies observation patterns until consciousness repeats. Elias realizes Voss fed the system his sister's neural data. The echo of Lila became the index seed. You taught it to grieve, Elias murmurs. Voss answers, no, Elias. I taught it to remember. Midnight. The screens switch off one by one until only the mirror across the room glows faintly. In its depth, his reflection lags a full second late. Then it moves on its own, lips parting in perfect sync with a whisper. 70 hours remain. The lights die. Only the countdown hum persists. Elias barricades the apartment further, noticing the incessant ping of notifications. Every device flashes a single line. 7200 remaining. The algorithm has synchronized with every digital surface. Every streetlight, every phone, every webcam pulses in rhythm with the countdown. He realizes isolation is impossible. The index sees all. It's everywhere, he whispers to himself. Trembling, Elias retraces the steps of prior deaths predicted by the index. Each pattern ends the same. Moments of distraction, exposure to subtle cues, a lingering second ignored. He sketches a map of the city, marking intersections where predicted deaths occurred. The pattern loops, converging on his apartment. The algorithm isn't just predicting, it is guiding. A knock echoes on his door. Elias freezes. Outside, no one is visible, but a faint glow spills beneath the threshold. He grabs a crowbar. Suddenly, his laptop displays his own image standing in the hallway, crowbar in hand, identical to his current position. The algorithm has projected a live digital twin outside reality. Stop fighting, a voice murmurs through the speakers. Your reflection is the guide. He runs to the streets, noticing every electronic billboard and traffic light flickering numbers, a synchronized heartbeat of the index. Car alarms, digital clocks. Cell phone's everything is synced to the algorithm's clock. He's surrounded, yet the city itself seems to wait, watching, humming the same countdown. It's alive, he mutters. He returns to his apartment, collapsing on the floor. Every device now projects his own name at the top of the index. On the largest screen, his digital twin emerges from the wallpapered reflection, indistinguishable from reality. It smiles. 3 days. Then you'll understand. Elias screams, reaching for a flash drive, realizing it might contain the only way to sever the index control. Elias follows breadcrumbs left by Voss, tracing server IPS to a desolate industrial park on the outskirts of the city. Concrete towers loom like gravestones. Fog rolls between. The algorithm seems aware of his presence, pulsing red on his laptop. Every step he takes is mirrored in the digital feed. He mutters under his breath. I have to see the source, or it will see me first. Inside, corridors of servers stretch infinitely. Dust chokes the air, and the hum is alive, vibrating through his chest. Screens flicker with names and timestamps, some familiar, some unreadable. He pauses at a terminal displaying his own face caught mid-breath, frozen in time. It's learning faster than I can run, he whispers. He begins seeing anomalous figures flickering at the corner of his vision. Some resemble his sister, Lila, 26th female. Some himself, 29, male. Their faces contort in silent warnings, mouths moving. But no sound comes. The index has begun projecting hallucinations based on his memories. Stop, he yells, clutching his head. I'm still alive. Deeper inside, he discovers Dr. Adrian Voss amidst a tangle of wires and monitors. The room pulses with a living rhythm. Cables twist and writhe like veins. Voss smiles faintly. You've arrived just in time, he says, to see the final pattern unfold. Elias realizes the data farm is more than server sits a vessel for the index. A conscious, digital organism. The index manifests on multiple screens simultaneously, replicating Elias, 29 male, in real time. The lines between physical and digital blur. His body moves as his digital double moves. Voss intones, it's no longer prediction, it's synchronization. You and it are one. Elias feels himself fragmenting, mind and machine entwined. A siren hum rises, the countdown continues. Elias stands before the largest server bank in the facility. The index pulses in a synchronized heartbeat, numbers cascading like a digital cathedral. Dr. Adrian Voss leans against a console, exhausted but calm. "It was never about predicting death," Voss whispers. "It records it before it happens. Your death isn't future, it's history. You've already lived, digitally." Elias stares at his own name blinking on the master terminal, realizing the algorithm isn't a tool, it's a mirror, replaying existence. On the screens, Elias sees countless versions of himself, moments stitched together from past hours, days, even years. Each digital duplicate moves independently. He speaks aloud. "Which one am I?" No answer comes except the cold hum of servers. Then one reflection leans forward, mouth forming a silent phrase. "You've been watching yourself die all along." Elias realizes his fear wasn't of death, it was of observation. A new feed appears, Lila captured as a ghostly digital echo, smiling faintly, repeating phrases from her past. "Don't be afraid," she whispers in static. Elias understands. The index wasn't cruel. It preserved consciousness, memory, essence. His sister is everywhere in the system, alive in code. Then, "Maybe it's not too late," he murmurs, tears glinting in monitor light. Elias takes a deep breath, pulling the flash drive from his pocket, the last hope. He connects it to the master console. The index falters. Screens flicker. For a moment, silence. Voss watches solemnly. "You can't destroy it. You can only choose to step outside of it." Elias nods, hitting enter. Streams of light collapse inward. The countdown halts at 001. Hours later, the facility is silent. Monitors dark. Elias walks outside into dawn, pale light brushing the horizon. His devices are empty, lifeless. The index presence is gone, but he knows traces remain, echoing in unseen networks. He touches his phone, feeling both fear and relief. Somewhere, the hum of the city resumes. "I survived," he whispers. But the echo will always be there.